Ciao a tutti. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lesson 3 of Italian with the 15-year-old bilingual. So I just wanted to bring your attention what else I'm going to do other than just basic Italian. I'm going to do other videos on speaking Italian, writing Italian, and just delve into grammatical Italian. So watch this space because I'll be posting different videos if the demand is there. So in today's lesson, lesson number 3 of this channel, we're going to be looking at days of the week. We're going to revise our numbers that we learned last lesson, so that's 1 to 20. And this lesson as well, we're going to add some more numbers to that. So we're going to go from 20 to 40. We'll just go up in 20s, easy amount to live with. And then today we're going to look at something a bit more complex. We're going to look at the gender of nouns, which I really briefly mentioned in my last lesson. So let's start off with revision of numbers. Right, so these are the numbers that we did in lesson 2. So should be still fresh in our minds. So let's just revise. So I'm not just gonna do them one by one. I'm just gonna do 1 to 20. I'm just gonna repeat quickly, because repetition is how you learn a language. That is the best way. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So just keep doing that. So that's how I would learn these numbers. I would just try and learn them at the start, just ease my way into them, and then I'd try and get into a rhythm of doing it. So da 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 da, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a revision of numbers. If you do need to revise them and you can't remember how to spell certain ones, just look at lesson 2 and I do cover numbers 1 to 20. I've got all the spellings. You should have them down in your little notebook at the front. Right, so we looked at number 1 to number 20. So let's just go over 21 to 40. Just 20 up, let's go. So number 21 is 21, 21. Number 22 is 22, 22. Number 23, 23, 23. Number 24, 24, 24. Number 25 is 25, 25. Number 26, 26, 26. Number 27, 27, 27. Number 28 is 28, 28. Number 29 is 29, 29. And number 30 is 30. So let's look at 31 to 40 now. 31, 31, 31. 32, 32, 32. Number 33, 33, 33. Number 34, 34, 34. Number 35 is 35, 35. Number 36 is 36, 36. Number 37 is 37, 37. Number 38 is 38, 38. Number 39, 39, 39. And finally, number 40 is 40. So some of these are a bit difficult to say, especially 33. Now that's something that is a bit challenging to some people because there's so many TRs. 33. Now, if you were smart enough to figure out, 21 is basically just 20 minus the I and just plus uno. Again, 22, 22, 23, 23. These are separate, but they've just been joined together to make that number. So now let's look at days of the week. Right, something we all know in English are the days of the week. So I thought we need to learn these in Italian so that we can write the date. So let's take a look. I'm going to pronounce these and you just hopefully are going to speak them back. Monday is lunedì. Lunedì. Tuesday is martedì. Martedì. Wednesday, mercoledì. Mercoledì. Thursday is giovedì. Giovedì. Friday, venerdì. Venerdì. Saturday, sabato. Sabato. And Sunday is domenica. Domenica. So take these down in the front of your book. These are very important because we're going to have to write the date soon. So we'll be writing something like, I don't know, maybe the 10th of April. And we'll be writing what day it is. And then I've also decided to put down the months. So if you first copy down, pause the video and just first copy down days of the week, just to start us off. And then we're going to go over the months. Right, so let's take a look at this month. These months, sorry. So I'm going to pronounce all of these for you. January, gennaio. February, febbraio. March, marzo. April, aprile. May, maggio. June, giugno. July, luglio. August, agosto. September, settembre. October, ottobre. November, novembre. And finally, December, dicembre. Just go over some basic things that we're just seeing right here. So you might have recognised these accents on the I's. They don't appear in the sabato or domenica, but they do appear here, and that is basically just like we would do for the letter E in Italian. Instead of, so it would be lui è. This is the same. Lunedì, lunedì. So make sure that you have the accents down, and when you're speaking, just stress it. That's why the accent's there, just to make sure that you really understand. Okay, we're just going to look at the pronunciation of some of these as well. So, gennaio, gennaio. Gennaio is not the option here. There's no H. That means it can't be a hard sound, so it has to be a soft sound, and it's gennaio. Febbraio, fine. Marzo, yep. Aprile, okay. Here again, that soft bit in maggio. And for giugno, now this G-N-O appears quite a few times in Italian. It is not giugno, it is giugno. A G-N is pronounced as nye, nye. So it's giugno, giugno. Luglio, here it is again, but this time with an L and an I. Luglio. If it's G and L, it goes L, just said as an L. So luglio. But you still have to spell these correctly, otherwise it's incorrect. August is agosto. September, settembre. October, ottobre. November, novembre. December, dicembre. So that's the days of the week and the months. So we can now write the date, which is absolutely brilliant. So let's just take a random example. So, let's say lunedì 25 marzo 2020. Don't worry if you don't get what I just said there. 2000 is a lot further away than what we're at just now, but we can just keep looking at them every week and we will eventually get there. So what I've written down here is just a random date out of my head. So the Monday, the 25th of March 2020. We can do this for any day of the week. We could say il giovedì 5 giugno 2021. So that would be next year, wouldn't it? So you can now write in the top of any Italian work you do, you can now write il before each of the days. So il giovedì, or lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, giovedì, venerdì, sabato, or domenica. Domenica would be la, but we don't really need to have these at the present moment. We can just write this, and that would be accepted. These are just some random dates, so why don't you go ahead and try writing the date of the day that you're watching this video, and I will be able to correct it if you put it in the comments. Right, so we're getting into some juicy grammar just now. We're looking at the gender of nouns. So in Italian, we've got two different genders. We've got the masculine and we've got the feminine. So what's a noun though? A noun is something proper, so it can be a name or a place. So let's take an example that I had in the last video. We had Russo, which hopefully you remember means Russian. Now that came from the nationality. The O at the end of this suggests that it is masculine. So if anything ends in O, then it is a masculine singular. Okay, so Russo is masculine. But what about the feminine? We haven't looked at that yet. So let's just look at it. I did briefly mention I put a slash and then an A. Now, if you were a woman, you'd say io sono russa. The A, that's the ending there. The A is the singular. So if the noun ends in O and it's singular, then it's masculine. If the noun ends in A and it's singular, then it's feminine. So let's take a closer look at the plurals. Right, so this is going to be like the third and final part of what I'm going to say. So just there, we have looked at the different genders of a noun. So we looked at the word Russo, and we know that the O at the ending is masculine. If it's a girl, we would say Russa. The A at the ending gives away that it is a female Russian we are talking about. Now we did talk about the exception of E, padre. A father cannot be a female. So it can be either though. So a padre is male and a madre is female. We also looked at the word a. Now we looked at un ragazzo. We use un when we see the zero, an O at the end, and we use una when we see an A at the end. Now there are different rules as well. For instance, something that has, let's say, specchio, okay? Now an S plus a consonant, we would use uno. Another rule that we have is if a feminine noun, let's say aula, we can't go una aula because, well, we can, but in Italian we've kind of evolved so that we just miss out that A because we're already going to say another A. So what they said, what's the point? So un'aula, instead of saying una aula. So we get rid of that A, we do not want that, but we want the un apostrophe aula. This apostrophe only occurs when there is an A at the ending, here, only in feminine. We use uno when there's an S plus a consonant. We also use uno when it's like a zero, so uno, zero. Apostrophe for female, ending in an A, starting with a vowel. Uno when it's an S plus a consonant, or Z. So I would copy all of what I've just said at the back of your vocab book. This is something that takes a while and it's very complex, so we should just start off a little bit easily. So just copy it down as I have done right here in front of you and try and figure out. I'm going to put down some examples for you to do, so the answers will just appear after it as well. Right, as this is a bit more tricky than it usually is with the videos so far, I'm just going to divide these up a wee bit. So let's look. So I just told you there that O is masculine and A is feminine. Well, there is one exception. Anything that ends in E can be either of the gender. So an example of, so let's say we had the Russo, that's a masculine, and that's a feminine Russian, right? Let's look at this word, the ending. Now, we did come across one of these nouns that ended with an E in our first lesson vocab, and that was padre. Now, a father can't be feminine, but a father can be masculine, and this is what this is. The E can be either gender. So there's padre, got the E, okay? Let's look at another one. Madre. A mother can't be male, a mother can be female. See? The E returns again. So we're going to look at the indefinite article, which is basically a or an. So an example, so we'll just put ragazzo. This means boy. This will come up in our vocab today. That's a ragazza. Right, so what would we use to say a boy in Italian? Well, our indefinite article has to follow this rule of being male or female. So, un ragazzo. You know it would be un if there's an O at the end, so it's un ragazzo. Okay? If it's a girl, so it's got, you can tell it's got a girl because it's an A. And then we just put una ragazza. This is a very, very important rule I've got just now, so I would very highly recommend putting this in the back of your vocab book. This is always essential to have because sometimes you don't know what the gender of the noun could be, and you don't know what your indefinite article is going to be. Don't worry, I'm not using anything, I don't want to confuse it by using anything very technical. The indefinite article is basically just an or a. A boy. A girl. Now you see here in English, as we went through gender of nouns, we encountered some new vocab, getting a little bit more complex, but it's vital. We encountered ragazzo, zaino, aula, finestra and sedia. I didn't put any more than that because I think because we've had gender of nouns it's very complicated, so only a few more complex one will do. So ragazzo means a boy, zaino is a school bag, aula is a classroom, finestra is a window, and sedia is a seat. Just go through the pronunciation. Ragazzo, ragazzo, zaino, zaino, aula, aula, finestra, finestra, sedia, sedia. Thank you for watching today's lesson. Do make sure that you copy all notes down and any vocab into your little vocab book. And keep working. So good luck.